Using character voices to warm up is a fun, theater-based way to kinesthetically and auditorily engage your students and reinforce this unit's content. This activity could also alternatively be used as a brain break, be adapted in content for further units of study, and be a source of repeated rehearsal for solidifying deep learning of unit content. With each theater-integrated activity that you do, utilizing the whole body is a key to understanding character and plot development when studying narrative texts. It's also a useful strategy to help students form a deeper connection to the information they are receiving and learning throughout a variety of subjects, including science and history. Each character voice that you present in this activity will be placed in a different part of the actor's body. This placement helps students learn that an actor can adapt and alter their voice to better embody the character they're portraying. I'll share with you now what each of these character voices might look and sound like. The sneaky seagull will have a nasally voice that is high-pitched and squeaky, and it comes from the nose. Invite your students to repeat the phrase, "I am a sneaky seagull," in as squeaky a voice as possible. Direct your students to pay attention to the airflow out of their noses when they make this squeaky voice. How does it feel to make this voice? Does it tickle your nose? Does it make you feel more sneaky? Now let's fly like sneaky seagulls and try to steal someone's food. The playful orca projects their voice from their chest and has a lower sounding voice than the sneaky seagull. Because they need to call out to their family members while they travel, their voices also need to be loud. Invite your students to place a hand on their chest as they bellow in a deep voice, "Hello! Where are you?" And call back to your pod members, "I am here! I am with you!" As playful orcas, you can make this a fun call and response. Have half your class recite the first part in character and the second half respond to their lines. Encourage your students to observe how it feels for their voice to come from their chests. Does it make your voice sound louder? Does your voice feel bigger than the sneaky seagulls? The grand walrus has a voice that comes from deep in its diaphragm or belly. And when they speak, it is loud and booming, and everyone on the shore and in the sea can hear. The grand walrus likes to be left alone, but today, the sneaky seagull tried to steal his fish. Instruct your students to take in a big, deep breath before they exclaim, "How dare you bother me?" Now ask your students to observe how this voice is different from the playful orcas. Is it louder? Is it deeper? You can also ask your students if there is a difference between how each of the characters feel. How do you think the grand walrus feels about the sneaky seagull stealing his food? How can you show that with your bodies and your facial expressions? How can we hear that in your voice? The great blue whale has a beautiful underwater voice. It sings loudly and its songs can be heard for miles throughout the ocean. The great blue whale also swims slowly and gracefully, and its song is very loud and very long and deep. Their voice comes from the depths of the ocean and it is low and loud. Now instruct your students to imagine that they are a great blue whale swimming through the ocean and sing proudly from their chests, "I love my ocean. I love my pod. I love to sing." Invite students to hold the last word "sing" for as long as possible. Extend the activity by inviting students to sing the words of the great blue whale as slowly as possible, as loudly as possible, etc. Did you notice how each character doesn't just sound different, but also moves and feels differently? Placing the actor's voice in different parts of the body should encourage students to hear and feel the differences between each character. Similarly to the actor affirmations, you'll have actions and movements that accompany each character. For this activity, rather than asking students to create the movements, you'll be providing the actions and words for them to perform and repeat. You can create your own character voices and actions to match this activity, or feel free to use the examples that I just shared. In later units, once your students are familiar with creating actions to accompany words, you can extend this activity to have students create their own character voices and actions.